So, this is Avian Christian, and I'm back. Back with the subject of Argonaut squash. You can see for yourself. It's growing, and I have flowers, blooms, and a lot of honeybees. I've even seen a bumblebee. I grew up down in South Texas, Houston. Bumblebees were commonplace, but for a long time now, haven't seen any. Except when I was, driving as a truck driver. And see, there's a bee right there. He just went from that flower to that flower. Now, both of those flowers are male flowers. But he did transfer that pollen from one to the other, and that's what they're doing. I've got quite a few male flowers out here. As you can see, they're all distributed. There's some of them have opened and closed. And I think I've been tracking. I've been trying to get up early. But since I'm being, retired, it's kind of hard to do sometimes. But anyway, whenever I can, I get up early. Come out here. Right now it's around about 8 something. And just look, just study what's going on with this plant, because I'm sure I'm not the only one that's interested in it, but this is an awesome squash variety. I love the sweetness of butternut squash. This is a butternut squash. It's a hybrid. And but I heard that it was a little bit more watery than Waltham or something like that, but that's okay. As long as the flavor is the same, we can work with that. A lot of the things that I do with squash, being watery is not going to affect it. Now, I haven't actually ever eaten this squash, so let me not sound like an expert on that, because I don't know how it's going to taste. But I'm not even worried about it. I like things that can feed a family, okay? And a 20 or 30 pound squash certainly would take care of a family of 4 and even upward. But all of this is new to me. We're going to have to learn. I would plant this variety again. Congrats to the producers, the breeders, or whatever. Congrats. Good job. Any squash is going to run, though. They all make quite a bit of foliage, and they cover a large area of space. This is just what mine is doing. And from that little house and around that little house, the front that you can see in the video and the side, and I'm going to walk over there in a few seconds and show that's where they started growing at. That fly is messing with me out here, so it's messing my hand a little unsteady. I don't want to get bit by the flies and the mosquitoes. It's an overcast day. It's actually a little bit cloudy. And feeling a few little simple raindrops, which I always welcome. When you're gardening, you welcome the rain, especially in moderation. But this squash is just growing. You see those vines spreading out right over by that wheelbarrow. There's one that just cut across there, and it's going to climb up that fence right there. And there's some over by the tomatoes, and they doing their own thing. You know, picture's worth 1,000 words, right? They're growing, but let's look a little bit closer in here. See, we can see there's one that I was wondering about, and you can see the flower is closed up. I suspect that these squash are much like any other animal, human reproduction. And basically that is once the sex cells unite, the male and the female, that the door closes. And it's I don't know the proper terminology, but that concludes the breeding process, and it closes the door for any other DNA or cells to get involved. And I just have to believe that that's important because the good Lord made it that way. If it wasn't important, then it wouldn't be. You may see some of these bees flying around here. That is a serious blessing. And I guess my major reason for filming this in these different series of videos here. There's a little squash right there. You can see a little flower on top of it. Unopened blooms yet. But my major reason is so that when you do grow this type of squash, I would encourage you to put this in your garden. You may not want to plant 10 plants. I could have planted much more. I would have liked to plant it much more. Yeah, who cares if I can eat all of it? I know I can't eat all of it. That's what sharing is about. Another little squash right there. Right there. And right here. And right underneath there. Yeah. This is the one here. Here's another one. Got a golden color to it, but it's not dried up. It's still growing.